You're standing in the African savannah. It's 1.7 million years ago. The sun is absolutely brutal, and you are covered, head to toe, in thick, dark fur, like a chimpanzee, but with slightly better posture and significantly worse decision making. At some point between that moment and right now, you lost all of it. And the reason why is one of the strangest, most undertold stories in science. Because here's the thing nobody tells you. It wasn't the heat, it wasn't fashion, and it definitely wasn't because ancient humans discovered razors. The real reason is something completely different. And once you hear it, you're never going to look at a chimpanzee the same way again. Let's start with what most people get wrong. You think you lost your hair follicles? You didn't. You still have every single one. Humans have approximately 5 million hair follicles, the same number as a chimpanzee. The difference is what grows out of them. Yours, fine, nearly invisible hair. A chimpanzee's, thick, dense fur. One mutation, 1.7 million years ago. That's the entire difference between you and the thing at the zoo. One gene, one change, and everything that followed. So why did that mutation survive? In most environments, fur is an advantage. Warmth, protection, camouflage. Every other primate kept theirs. Gorillas kept theirs. Orangutans kept theirs. Even our closest living relative, the chimpanzee, kept theirs. So why did the naked ones win? How did completely exposed to the elements beat naturally insulated and protected? It shouldn't have. And yet, here you are, furless, watching a video about it. Here's why. 1.7 million years ago, your ancestor, Homo erectus, started doing something no other primate was doing. Running, not sprinting, long distance running, for hours. They would find an animal and just follow it, not to catch it, to exhaust it. Running until the prey overheated and collapsed from heat stroke. Scientists call it persistence hunting. It still exists in some communities in Africa today, where hunters on foot chase antelope across open savanna for up to 8 hours straight, until the animal literally cannot stand anymore, and it is exactly as unhinged as it sounds. I can't outrun you, but I will follow you until you die. That was the strategy. That was us. Arguably, the most terrifying predator in history wasn't the one with the biggest teeth. It was the one that just wouldn't stop. Think about what that actually means. A lion can hit 50 miles per hour. A wildebeest can sustain 40. A human tops out at maybe 12 on a good day. By every measurable metric, we should be the worst hunters on the savannah. We're slow, we have no claws, we have no venom, we can't even smell particularly well. A dog would be embarrassed hunting next to us. But we have one thing that no other predator on Earth has. We can run in the heat of the day without overheating. Every other predator has to stop, find shade, wait for temperatures to drop. We just kept going, hour after hour, in the middle of the day, when everything else was hiding. We owned the African savannah not because we were fast or strong. We owned it because we were the only ones crazy enough to run in the sun. But running in the African heat for 8 hours generates an enormous amount of body heat, and fur traps heat. So the humans with less fur, the ones who could sweat faster, cool down faster, keep running longer, survived. The furry ones overheated and died. The hairless ones ate. Natural selection is genuinely not subtle. Humans today have approximately 2 million sweat glands. A chimpanzee has almost none. We didn't lose our fur because of the weather. We lost it because we became endurance machines, and fur was the thing slowing us down. And here's something worth sitting with for a second. The persistence hunt didn't just select for hairlessness, it selected for stubbornness. The humans who won weren't the fastest or the strongest. They were the ones who refused to stop, who kept going when every rational instinct said quit, who followed something for 8 hours in the blazing sun on nothing but willpower. In a very real sense, the defining human trait might not be intelligence. It might be the inability to give up. We literally evolved to be too stubborn to quit. But losing fur immediately created a different problem, a serious one. Exposed skin under direct equatorial sun is destroyed by UV radiation. UV radiation damages DNA. Damaged DNA causes mutations, tumors, cancer. So the same humans who were losing fur needed protection. Fast. And here's the part that genuinely surprises people. Early humans didn't start with dark skin. Before they lost their fur, just like the pale pink skin underneath a chimpanzee's fur, they were light. Dark skin came after fur loss, not before, which means there was a window, possibly thousands of years, where humans were walking around completely furless, completely light-skinned, in the middle of the African savannah, under direct equatorial sun, every single day. That did not go well for them. The ones whose bodies produced melanin faster, darker skin, natural UV protection, survived long enough to have children. The ones who didn't burned, mutated, and died before they could pass anything on. By around 1.2 million years ago, dark skin was fully established in the human lineage. One mutation triggered another. Running caused hairlessness. Hairlessness caused dark skin. A chain reaction 500,000 years in the making, all because someone decided to chase an antelope on a Tuesday afternoon. Now, there's one more consequence of losing fur that almost nobody talks about. And this one might actually be the most important thing that ever happened to our species. Bare skin does something fur can never do. It shows emotion, blushing, flushing with anger, going pale with fear, goosebumps. Every internal emotional state becomes visible on the outside. Researchers have found that humans possess a third type of color receptor in the eye, one that most other mammals simply don't have, specifically tuned to detect subtle changes in skin color, blood flow, oxygenation, emotional state. A face turning red means anger. A pink blush means attraction. Pale skin means fear or illness. These are incredibly precise biological signals, and every single one of them is completely invisible through fur, which means the moment humans lost their fur, something extraordinary happened. They could suddenly read each other. For the first time in evolutionary history, you could look at someone's face and actually know, what they were feeling. Not guess, know. Trust or threat, attraction or aggression, calm or dangerous, honest or lying. Think about what that unlocks. Before bare skin, you could only trust the people you'd known for years. Cooperation at scale was nearly impossible. You couldn't look at a stranger and quickly assess whether they were safe. But once skin became readable, once a blush or a flush or a pale face told you everything you needed to know in seconds, the math of human cooperation changed completely. You could form alliances with people you'd just met. You could build tribes of hundreds instead of dozens. You could detect betrayal before it happened. You could punish cheaters and reward cooperators in real time just by watching their faces. And here's the part that really gets me. Every negotiation, every job interview, every first date, every moment where you looked at someone and just knew something was off, that ability traces directly back to a genetic mutation 1.7 million years ago. Your gut feeling about people isn't intuition, it's evolution. You are running ancient biological software designed to read skin, and it still works exactly as intended. Researchers now believe this single change, bare, readable skin, may have been one of the primary triggers that pushed humans toward complex social behavior. Not language, not tools, not fire, bare skin. Because language lets you communicate, but skin lets you know when someone is lying while they do it. And in a world where cooperation meant survival, that was everything. So here's where we land. 1.7 million years ago, one mutation, fur became fine hair. And from that one change came a chain reaction that took 500,000 years to complete. We became endurance hunters. We developed dark skin to survive the sun. And we accidentally gave ourselves the ability to read each other's emotions in real time, which pushed us toward the kind of large scale cooperation that eventually built everything you see around you. We didn't lose our fur, we traded it for civilization, which leaves one question nobody has fully answered. If that mutation had never happened, if the furry humans had won, would any of this exist? Would there be cities? Would there be language? Would there be anything at all? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if this surprised you, the next one is even harder to believe.